Welcome everybody back to another edition of the Weekly Business Break. I am Mike Neely with Equity 401k Consultants. I'm the owner and founder, as well as the lead investment consultant here. And as you guys know, the mission of Equity 401k Consultants is super simple. Our goal is to help build prosperity for businesses and security for employees and plan participants. And of course, one of the ways that I do that is by providing resources each and every week that are either interesting or that will help you create a higher level in your business. And today I am super fortunate to be joined by my good friend, Mr. Jon Chandonnet. Jon is a business and personal coach, which he's done for the last decade. He is an author of the book Shadow Summit, where he talks about in details the struggles in working through and living a life with MS. And he is also the founder of Vibrant You Academy, which is an online course and program and coaching and all that wonderful stuff. And that was founded in 2020. And I am just ecstatic to have Jon. Jon, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with me and to do this for, all the business leaders that we get to send this out to.
Awesome. Mike Neely, so awesome to be with you.
Well, Jon, I appreciate you so very much. And you and I have had a relationship for several years now. We were friends prior to that. And your story is something that drew me into wanting to work with you. So there's a disclosure. I do work with Jon. And part of that story really intrigued me because of what and where your life went. And not only that, your book, which was great, and that story. Why don't you share a little bit about, the book and, where this journey took you and how you became a coach?
Great. Thanks, Mike. So 26 years ago, I was a grad student at MIT, and I got diagnosed with MS. And 27, had the world by the tail, and I decided not to attach to the diagnosis. I just said, you know what? I don't have you. I'm going out and living the best life I can. And I did for 8 years. Exploded into life, ran marathons, triathlons, climbed Whitney, Shasta, Tyndall, mountains that we all know about here.
Yeah.
And I basically pushed the accelerator button on life, Mike, until the disease said stop, brought me to my knees, and then I had to figure out a way to go inside and get my life back. I had to push the reset button and figure out, okay, how do I create life from the inside out rather than outside in? How do I keep from chasing it? How do I allow it to naturally flow within me? And so I did that. I did a raw vegan detox, turned around, and then over 8 years after, wrote a book and learned about these 7 key principles called the 7 Vibrants that I coach people on that allow people to go inside and create their best life naturally with less struggle, man, right? We all want to create our best life, and we want to do it as naturally as possible without any of, the BS, just stop that stuff.
Yeah, 100%. And, reading your story and like the things you talked about, you were a super athletic and driven person. And I don't think any of that's changed despite, the MS. You are still a very driven and athletic person. That's not left you. But those things that you did, the mountain climbing, some of the incredible stories in the book, times that you guys got snowed in or stuck, just exciting stuff and fun to read. And then reading how I think you're like any other human being, and that's what really drew me to you as well, as you were very honest about how you felt when you were diagnosed, and the fact that you were just basically, nah, I'm going to ignore this, until your body finally said, no way, like you can't ignore this anymore. And what you did with that was inspiring, just in the fact that you decided, okay, well, I've got to make changes. And you did it for your family, and you overcame the obstacle. And now you're a coach, and now you help business leaders drive peak performance from the inside out.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about that. Let's talk about what that process looks like. You mentioned a little bit about the 7 vibrants.
Yep.
Let's talk about how you work with business owners, because that's what we're here for. This is the weekly business break. How
Yes,
do you coach
exactly.
business owners and business executives and leaders and salespeople to get at their peak performance?
Right. And so Mike, life is a game of energy. All right. I've got MS. I leak energy. Okay.
Right.
I leak energy. Right. That's my opportunity, to put it in a positive way.
Sure.
So how can I stop leaking energy? And you leak energy according to each of the 7 vibrants. You leak energy physically, leak energy emotionally, professionally, financially, socially, mentally, and spiritually. And so I work with business owners to figure out how to plug those leaks, which is, are you serving clients? Are you really listening to clients? Right? Or are you forcing your own desires and what you want to happen rather than listen to them? Because that's the professional vibrant. And that is, how do you allow things to be powered from within based on desire rather than obligation? All right. And that's what these are some things that we help clients do.
Right. And, I remember when we started working together, gosh, it's been 4 years now. It's amazing how fast time goes. But one of the things that we did really early on was, I came to you in need of helping to put together my business.
Mm-hmm.
I'd been in business for a while, but I wasn't getting the results because I was unorganized. I didn't have certain things in place to help me start taking off and to facilitate my growth. The leaking of energy that you talk about happens in a lot of ways. One of those ways is when you don't have processes in place to streamline your business, and especially me being a solo practitioner, and my assistance comes from, my partners and third party, people around me. You helped me streamline my processes so that my energy wasn't leaking to other things that were keeping my brain in stresses that they didn't need to be in.
Right. And so that's the processes, that's how you move through your day, how you spend your time. But before we really got effective with you being effective in your day, we focused on, who is your customer? Who do you want your customer to be? What business do you want to be in? And you thought originally, when we were working, it was individual investors. They were your business focus. That really wasn't the market that you wanted to serve.
Right.
And I think, a year and a half ago, when we really figured out that you want to serve, organizations, institutions around, 401k, wealth creation, and just how to develop that whole business. Once you figured that out, like, you've become so much more focused in your day. Like before, I mean, I don't mean to rat you out, but you would get out, you'd get out 9 o'clock, roll into your day, 9:30, there wasn't the sense of urgency, because you really weren't doing what you really wanted to be doing.
Yeah.
Once you figured out what business you want to be in, you're getting up at you're getting up at 5:36 now, and you're starting your day because you want to. That desire is coming from within you,
Right.
and propelling you.
Yeah. And I think that's with what you do and what I've seen you do with others as well, is helping people and business leaders figure out what they're passionate about within what they're doing and going after that. We unlocked that market for me as where I was passionate and who I wanted to serve. And you're right. Now it gives you the energy to want to wake up in the morning and get right to work and get to the passion of what I do on a daily basis. And you've done this with lawyers, you've done this with other financial advisors. I mean, you have a
Coaches,
wealth of clients that you work with.
Yes.
I also want to dig into, the health part.
Yes. Yes.
As professionals,
Yes.
we spend a lot of time sitting at a desk. We spend a lot of time on the phone. We have stresses. We have all kinds of worries. And part of working with you, while there is the business part of it, creating the processes and the plan and the project management and all those great things and the focus that you create there, but you also help business leaders and business owners and professionals really dig into their health. And I think that's where, peak performance on the outside is the business stuff.
Yep.
But then you have the peak performance on the inside,
Yep.
which is your health.
Yep.
And you really helped me get clear on that. And guys, I'm going to be honest. If you're listening to this and you're thinking that, I wanted to go to the gym, or I want to do this, or my health is of need and importance to you, the reality is you don't have to make big changes. And Jon was a big part of helping me see that there's little shifts that you make that can make all the difference. So Jon, talk a little bit about that.
It's the little shifts, and it's the little shifts that compound and create momentum over time that build the wave. Okay. It's the little shifts that build the wave. But so we were talking, I do coaching for business owners, but I have a very specific practice where I do well-being coaching around the 7 vibrants, and to see where people stand relative to each of the 7 in your life, and where are they leaking energy? Where are you leaking energy physically because of what you're putting in your body, or not putting in your body, or not moving your body? Where are you leaking energy emotionally because you allow feelings just to get carried away and take you down rabbit holes and paths that you really don't want to be going down, and you're just not mindful about it. You're just reacting. And how do you ground those emotions? Professionally, how do you allow your desire and will, like what you've done professionally, based on the clientele you want to serve, how do you allow that energy to pull you rather than having the energy of obligations forcing you, I got to do these things that I really don't want to do because they're really not aligned with what I really want to do? How do you figure that out? And how do you figure out financially how to serve people authentically?
Right.
Not force people to buy things that you think they should have, but really listen to them and connect with what it is they want, right? And then socially, how do you communicate with people so that people say the right things to speak themselves into the reality that they want to create for themselves, because life happens in conversation, socially, through the social vibrant, mentally, mind. How do you focus your thoughts so that you're living in the present, you're not in the past, or you're not too much in the future? You're solution focused, and we talk about being, doing, and having,
Right. Right.
so many of us focus on the results. We all we want to is we want us to make the sale. We want to make the sale. So we're always focused on the result. But what are you doing in order to get that result? Are you having the conversations? How many appointments are you booking a week? How many calls are you making to get those appointments?
Right.
That's doing. But then taking it a step back, even deeper than that, how are you being in the midst of those appointments and conversations? Are you really listening to your client? Are you asking smart questions, that show that you care about what they want? Or are you just trying to push your own agenda? Because pushing your own agenda and being and pushing your own agenda is not going to lead to the results that you want, the sales results you want,
Right.
So you've got to listen.
Right.
So that's a little bit, Mike.
And I think the other part too, the one breakthrough that really came for me was that idea of being leads to doing, and doing leads to having. The idea that you have to start figuring out, the inside. You have to start figuring out you, right? Which is the being. Like what are the stories you're telling yourself? What are the things that drive you, and figuring those out that will create that fire, which will lead you to doing, which ultimately, once you're doing the work, leads you to have. And that simple concept, we iterated on that and iterated on that and iterated on that, and then we found it. And that's led me to where my business is today. That's led other folks that you've worked with to what they have. And so that, I think, is the most important part of the process, is understanding that key fundamental part and how that aligns with all 7 vibrants.
Right. Right. So having what you do come within, so many of us, and I'm a victim of this. I chase the external. I chase the shiny object, and I think that the answer is in the external, no, the answer is within,
Right.
The fountain of youth is not some external place. The
Right.
fountain of youth is truly within you, truly within you, based on your habits,
Right. Right. It's all really good stuff. Jon, talk a little bit about Vibrant You Academy. You started this in 2020.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about what Vibrant You Academy is.
Yeah. So Vibrant You Academy is it's really a coaching program that allows people to go through the process of identifying what they want in each of those 7 areas. So, and more, before identifying what they want, it's assessing what their habits are in each of those 7. And what is the state of your habit in each of those 7? Then identifying, planning what it is you want to accomplish in each, and then going through the practice of implementing and making those things happen. And so that's what the Academy is all about. It's all about helping people, assisting people to realize the results they want, but doing it based on their internal habits and processes and actions and aspirations and desires and choices.
Great. So Jon, where can folks find you?
Folks can find me on Vibrant U. So the word vibrant, the letter U, academy.com. And
Awesome.
you could book a 20-minute introductory call with me, just talk about what you want. That's all free. And there's a checklist down there at the bottom where it talks about your leaks and just get a quick check or a quick take on where your leaks might be. So there's good stuff, good information on there, and just to help you in your own path.
And are they able to get a copy of your book? Where can they get a copy of your book?
Yeah, Shadow Summit. Shadow Summit is it's on Amazon. It's an audiobook, it's an ebook. It's a regular print book. So whatever format you like most, we have it for you.
Awesome. Well, Jon, it has been, it always is a pleasure getting to chat with you. I've enjoyed the ability getting to know you and work with you. And, just the message and the information you've given today, I'm sure will be of great help to the business owners and leaders and sales folks that are listening to this or watching this. And so with that, everybody, again, you can find Jon at Vibrant U Academy. So you like university, vibrantuacademy.com. You can get the copy of Shadow Summit at Amazon. And for all of you too, I will put a link to Vibrant U Academy in the show notes, as well as to Jon's LinkedIn page. You guys can all give him a follow, and he shares a lot of great stuff there too. So Jon, thank you so much again for taking the time to do this with me today.
Awesome, Mike. So awesome, Bertha. You rock, Mike. I love what you're all about. I love what you're doing. So great to be with you.
Thanks, man.